I wanted to get to the Drew Eubanks thing.
Yeah.
Because, well, this is video we need to see.
Yeah,
we need to see this. Drew Eubanks was sucker punched, in his own words, by Beef Stew.
And by the way, I guess Beef Stew is like terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
he's not to be messed with.
No one wants anything to do with Beef Stew. If you remember, he's the guy, Isiah Stewart, who goes by Beef, which is just such a great nickname, by the way.
He plays for the Pistons.
He's the guy that lost it trying to murder LeBron James. And there's also a great clip of Draymond, who doesn't mind mixing it up. He gets into it, or Beef gets into it with Draymond, and Draymond wants none of it. He like hugs him and is like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
Draymond usually wants all the smoke. I saw that clip today. Draymond wanted nothing to do with him.
No, and like anyone that's been in a locker room knows that in every locker room or in every league, there's a handful of guys that you don't want anything to do with, because a lot of guys are pretend tough guys, and then occasionally there's a guy that's really all about it, and it sounds like Beef's all about it, and Drew Eubanks found that out.
Former Blazer Beef Stew. You remember that?
I don't remember Isiah Stewart.
Wait, former Blazer
You talking about
Drew
Drew Eubanks?
Also a former Blazer.
Wait, Stewart was a Blazer?
Isiah Stewart was on the...
Well, he was drafted by the Blazers, and then he was dealt in the Trevor Ariza for Bob Covington deal.
Blazer great.
So we could have had the enforcer Beef Stew.
Blazer great.
They could have been teammates.
How about that?
Ain't gonna be no buddy stuff.
Well, I mean, he was a Jesuit kid, right?
Who?
Not
Beef Stew.
Yeah, Beef Stew.
Was he?
Yeah, and then he went to UW. I mean, I don't know if...
Where's he from?
Like he was born in Rochester, New York, but when I saw Jesuit, okay, so that's New York Jesuit. I thought maybe
Jesuit.
I thought maybe that was here because he went to Washington. Because when I looked him up, it said Jesuit, and I was like, Washington. I was like, did he go to high school here? No, Jesuit across, but he played it at UW.
Well, anyway, all that we've seen so far is that Eubanks tonight said that he was coming into the arena. Mm-hmm. Words were exchanged, and Eubanks said he got sucker punched. And then security intervened. Stewart was arrested, cited, and then released. No video is out yet. And then there's also a war of words between Monty Williams and the Suns.
Yeah, because the Suns came out and did the whole there's no place for this and we're a brotherhood and you don't do this.
Well, they said it was unprovoked.
Which I find that to be.
And then Monty Williams said, whoa. How do you even know that? You don't know that.
The first report we all saw yesterday is they were face-to-face, chest-to-chest before this all happened. So that doesn't sound unprovoked.
Dude, Isiah Stewart is not just going to punch Drew Eubanks for no reason.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not his fault, but come on, man.
Yeah, anytime you hear these stories and it's like... Oh, man, I was standing there minding my own business. I was like, hey, what's up, dude? And the dude punches me. And there's more to it than that. Now, Isiah Stewart clearly has a history of being a little off kilter. And so maybe this was a serious overreaction. But I'm
sure it was.
I would like to see the reaction. I would like to see what led to this. Was this a misunderstanding? What did, again, names being called? And the chest-to-chest thing matters because if Eubanks was walking by and you sucker punch him, you're a coward. But I'll go to my grave, and I've said this many a time. If you go chest to chest with another man, or you put your hands on another man in a shoving type motion, you better be ready for hands to fly. That's like the Jordan Poole thing. Everyone's like, oh, Jordan Poole got sucker punched. No, Jordan Poole shoved Draymond Green. If you shove another grown man, you better put your hands up. And if you go chest to chest and you're yelling with another man, you better be prepared for someone to throw a fist. So I would like to wait and see what happens. Because if they're yelling at each other chest to chest, I got zero issue with Beef Stewart dropping a two-piece on him.
Well, I know you all know me as a very tough, manly fighter.
Clearly.
Of high T.
Yes.
It's like shockingly.
You're often unhinged on the golf course.
Yes.
I've seen it.
It's where the hard dudes are. I know I'm known as that. But let me just say, from a lay perspective here, based on what you're saying, I've always kind of thought when you go chest to chest with another dude, you are signaling, hey, I'm ready to fight.
Yes.
So if it does, most guys don't want to fight.
No.
And so, hold me back, bro. It's like that type of thing. But if you bow up, you have now signaled, okay, if this escalates, I'm ready.
That's why I said, until I make any sort of judgment on this, I would like to see the video. Because again, there's a difference between words being exchanged and someone walking away and then getting drilled or hitting you from behind versus, like you said, chest to chest, hands on someone, nose to nose. You better be prepared. I've never understood the pretend tough guy. I feel like I'm going to get in your face, bump you, and then yell at you, and then I'm upset when hands throw.
Do we think Eubanks maybe effed around and found out here?
Look, no one wants to back down, and this is the problem in any sort of these situations. No one wants to back down. But like I said, most of those people don't want anything to do with it. And so you get two guys that are yelling and screaming, but no one wants anything to go any further. The problem is that when you F around and find out, occasionally you do run into the guy that doesn't mind throwing hands.
Yeah, I just wonder what started. It's like, dude, it's the Suns against the Pistons.
Yeah, in the back alleyway.
It's 2 hours before the game.
What?
No one cares about the game, not even the players. The Pistons have won like 5 games all year.
There had to have been some previous thing where they had a tiny scuffle and Stewart saw him and said something and that set it off.
Yeah,
he made fun of his flat top. Like, what?
There had to have been something prior. Because I just don't know how you're talking S walking up the breezeway.
There's no way it was just an unprovoked, especially like you're talking S to allegedly one of the scariest dudes in the NBA that no one wants. Like, come on. Like, what? I need to know. And I'm siding with Monty Williams.
I think Stewart said something to him. Eubanks said something back so he didn't look like a bitch. And then Stewart's like, oh, really? And then hit him.
That is true. That does happen.
Like, Eubanks might have tried to stand up for himself or for his team, and it just didn't go well.
We had one of my buddies at BYU was a terrifying individual, and he could have murdered me. And that happened. Where he said something to me and I said something back because I didn't want to be a bitch. And then he took it to the next level and I was like, crap.
Uh-oh.
And I was just like, I was trying to figure out how not to look like a punk ass. But
also how to get out of it.
So I was talking, and all I'm just telling you the whole time I was like, please just someone, and people broke it up. And the best part was after it was done, and we were buds. We were friends. We were roommates at one point. He came by and he's like, hey, man, sorry. I was like, no, I'm sorry. And he just leans, puts his arm around me and goes, I would have killed you, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, you were scared, right? I'm like, yeah, terrified. He's like, all right, just so I could admit to being a bitch away from everybody. It's just like, thank you for letting me save face. And then I said, thank you for not murdering me. Because he was that guy. I didn't mind throwing hands with a lot of people, but he was different. So, you got to know your pecking order. And it's possible that Eubanks found out. But we'll see.